In the immortal words of the late Charlie Munger, if you want to become rich, stop trying to be intelligent and aim for not stupid instead. Now here's our twist. If you want to become happy, stop trying to force happiness and instead aim for less stress. The idea here is simple. Sometimes the key to success isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of the things that are holding you back. Welcome back to What is Your One Thing? The show where one listener described it as cutting through the noise of self-help and personal development to focus on one thing that can truly make a difference. I'm Jordan Hiller, and today, you and I, we're going to be diving into something that can seem deceptively simple, but has the power to transform your story: habits and routines. Let me start by asking you a few questions. Why do we as people tend to do and say things we've said that we were going to stop? Why do we often struggle to break habits or avoid repeating behaviors we've promised ourselves we wouldn't do again? Well, the answers lie in a complex mix of psychological, neurological, and even social factors. Our brains are wired to seek comfort in routines, even those that no longer serve us. Remember, neurons that fire together wire together. The world we live in doesn't make it any easier to change either. We're constantly hit with distractions, stressors, and social pressures that try to drive us back into our old patterns. But what if the key to breaking free from these patterns isn't about willpower or trying harder? What if it's about focusing on just one thing? One habit that could create a ripple effect in your life? What if I told you that changing just one habit could make everything else in your life easier or even unnecessary? Now I know, it sounds like an oversimplification in a world that tells you to do more, be more, and achieve more. But what if that's the problem? What if doing more isn't the answer? Here's the thing. Our lives are built on routines, whether we realize it or not. And those routines can either lead us closer to our goals or keep us stuck in the ruts we wish to get out of. The key isn't to overhaul your entire life. It's to identify and focus on just one habit that can create a ripple effect. Let me tell you a story about someone we'll call Cheryl. Cheryl is feeling overwhelmed. Between work, family, and personal goals, she's always trying to fill her time with something. Waking up early, exercising, eating healthy, meditating, learning a new skill. The list goes on. She doesn't do well with idle hands. But despite all her efforts, she is so exhausted and feels like she isn't getting anywhere. All right, I'll come clean and admit that I'm Cheryl. But sometimes we are better at helping others than we are at helping ourselves, so just bear with me. If Cheryl was my friend, I'd tell her to start small. How about pick one habit or routine that could cause a ripple effect into other areas of her life that would make things easier and or problems irrelevant? Cheryl and I pondered for a moment and decided to focus on one thing: going to bed by 10:30 p.m. every night. It might seem small, almost trivial, but it was the habit that anchored everything else. If she got enough sleep, she'd have more energy to exercise, be more productive at work, and not overreact during stressful situations. That one habit would create a domino effect. In the immortal words of the late Charlie Munger, if you want to become rich, stop trying to be intelligent and aim for not stupid instead. Now here's our twist. If you want to become happy, stop trying to force happiness and instead aim for less stress. The idea here is simple. Sometimes the key to success isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of the things that are holding you back. Now imagine if Cheryl continues to try and do everything at once. She'll probably still be stuck in that cycle of overwhelm and exhaustion and give up on her dreams. Instead, by focusing on one simple habit, she might unlock a path to achieving her wildest aspirations. So here's the takeaway. What's your one thing? What's the one habit, if you changed it, would make the biggest difference in your life? What would give you that asymmetrical value in return? You don't need to have a laundry list of self-improvement tasks. In fact, trying to do everything at once often leads to burnout and frustration. But by focusing on one habit, that's doable. That's powerful. And it's something you can start today. Think about it. What's that one habit for you? Is it getting more sleep? Like Cheryl. Or maybe it's not reaching for junk food when you're stressed. Whatever it is, let it be the anchor that helps you move closer to the life that you want. All right, remember, you don't need to do everything to feel happy or successful. Sometimes all you need to do is focus on one thing, and that one thing can be the start of a new and improved you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your one thing? What's the habit you're going to tackle? Reach out to the show by emailing me at whatsyourOneThing@gmail.com. That's the words what's your, the number 1, and the word thing at gmail.com. Send a message or drop a voice memo. I'll be picking a few and adding them to future episodes. Who knows? Your story might just inspire someone else who's listening. All right. Thanks for tuning in to What is Your One Thing? If you found this episode helpful at all, share it with a friend who might need a little reminder and help finding their one thing. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify and iTunes or wherever you listen. It really does help the show grow. Also, you don't want to miss the next episode where we'll explore the unexpected power of, well, you'll just have to tune in to find out. As for me, it's a little after 9 p.m. and I'm late for a date with the funny little woman. Talk soon.
Funny little woman. Long ago in old Japan, there lived a funny little woman who liked to laugh. Tee-hee-hee-hee. And who liked to make dumplings out of rice.